Proof 003, Jodie Foster. In the town where I live, there's the Harriman Library. Inside the library, there's a glass case which contains a beaver that's been preserved by a method called taxidermy. This references the beaver taxidermy. The Beaver is the name of a movie directed by Jodie Foster. Taxidermy contains the word taxi. A taxi is driven by a taxi driver. Therefore, taxidermy equals taxi driver. Therefore, the Beaver taxidermy equals Jodie Foster, taxi driver. Jodie Foster played a prostitute named Iris in the movie Taxi Driver. There is a second interpretation of the Beaver taxidermy. The Beaver stars Mel Gibson. Taxidermy contains the word taxi. A taxi is driven by a taxi driver. Therefore, the Beaver taxidermy equals Mel Gibson, taxi driver. Mel Gibson plays the taxi driver in the movie Conspiracy Theory. So, from the Beaver taxidermy, we get Mel Gibson, Conspiracy Theory, Jodie Foster, taxi driver. In the next step, I will derive 3 key points from each of these results for a total of 6 key points. Okay, first, Mel Gibson, Conspiracy Theory. The first thing I'm going to do is take the name Mel Gibson and decode it. I'll do this by rearranging the letters of Mel Gibson's name as follows: L-O-M-I-E-G-B-S-N. 3 of these letter groups will remain the same. They are L-O, E-G, and N. And 2 groups will go through metamorphosis. These are M-I and B-S. First, the M-I. M13 plus I9 is 22. Letter 22 of the alphabet is V, therefore MI equals V. Now for the BS, B2 plus S19 is 21. 21st letter of the alphabet is U, therefore BS equals U. The letter group LOMIEGBSN now becomes LOVEGUN, which spells love gun. Love Gun is the name of the 1977 album by the band Kiss. When vinyl LP copies of the album were released in 1977, the album came with a paper handgun inside. Therefore, Love Gun equals handgun. So from Mel Gibson, we get Love Gun. From Love Gun, we get handgun. Therefore, Mel Gibson equals handgun. In the movie Conspiracy Theory, Mel Gibson's taxi driver character has an obsession with collecting copies of J.D.Salinger's book, Catcher in the Rye. Therefore, Conspiracy Theory equals J.D.Salinger's Catcher in the Rye. In the movie Conspiracy Theory, Mel Gibson plays a taxi driver. Therefore, Conspiracy Theory equals taxi driver. Now, on to the next one, Jodie Foster and taxi driver. In the movie Taxi Driver, the title character develops an obsession with Jodie Foster's character Iris. Because Iris is played by Jodie Foster, an obsession with Iris is an obsession with Jodie Foster. Therefore, Taxi Driver equals obsession with Jodie Foster. In Taxi Driver, the title character develops a plan to carry out an assassination attempt on a presidential candidate. He later abandons this ideal and does not go through with carrying out the assassination attempt. By not carrying out the attempt, it is a failed assassination attempt. And since it was against a presidential candidate, it is a presidential in nature. Therefore, Taxi Driver equals failed presidential assassination attempt. Finally, in the film, Jodie Foster plays a prostitute. The customer of a prostitute is a John. Therefore, Taxi Driver equals John. So, the 3 key points we get from Mel Gibson Conspiracy Theory are handgun, J.D.Salinger's Catcher in the Rye, and Taxi Driver. From Jodie Foster and Taxi Driver, we get obsession with Jodie Foster, failed presidential assassination attempt, and John. In 1981, a man named John used a handgun to carry out a failed presidential assassination attempt after seeing the movie Taxi Driver and developing an obsession with Jodie Foster. Investigators later found a copy of J.D. Salinger's Catcher in the Rye in John's hotel room.